Whenever we get together like this, I always like to start by just having some celebrations together. One of the philosophies that was taught to me a long time ago is what gets celebrated gets replicated. And so I really like to just, when we're in this space, be able to celebrate a few things together. And so first, I had a few minor celebrations for myself to share with you. And then in a moment, I would like you to share with each other some celebrations. So start thinking of some things that you've seen happen, things that you've heard, some funny stories even from the kids, because in a moment, you're going to share those with your tables. From me, I think it is a huge celebration just to continue to look at Lionheart, everything that's been happening here. We've had quite a number of families who were in Mercy Kids who have been enrolled in Lionheart. And I want to say, Lauren, do you know the number off the top of your head? I want to say like 4 or 5 families who came to Lionheart and started at Mercy Kids.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, I have the number somewhere and I didn't write it down, but I want to say it's like 4 or 5 families who have been enrolled in Lionheart and started coming to Mercy Road because of that. And so it's really cool to see the vision of this building actually start to come to fruition and be able to partner with the teachers like Lauren and the staff here at Lionheart and see those things happen. The other thing that I would like to celebrate is this line from a child that I heard. It was over here in room 8. He's not here tonight, but I'm celebrating Travis Doherty. He was teaching a small group that day, leaning in with the kids, having a great time, and this little kid, his name's Elliot, was on his way out, and I heard him in the hallway say to his mom, "Can we come back next week?" And if I remember right, I think it had been, off and on. He wasn't here every week, super consistent, and that moment was a moment for him where it clicked in his head, like, this is a fun place to be. This is a place I want to come back to. And those are the kinds of things that I think lean into our vision. Mercy Kids exists to see kids discipled into a passionate relationship with Jesus. And those are the things that I like to celebrate because I want to see them replicated as well. So I want to turn it over to you. Take just 3 or 4 minutes, talk amongst your tables, share 1 or 2 things that you would like to celebrate. And go. Thank you for the conversation. It's fun to just be able to be up here and hear you guys talking to each other because it is, 1, it's healthy to have communion and conversation with each other, but 2, it's also just good to hear that your hearts are spilling over to share the stories with each other. So keep that up. That doesn't only have to happen when we're here as a group together. Share those stories whenever you see each other on Sundays too. Now, I want to give you just a handful of some updates and reminders. So in this section, I'm just going to go over a few things that have been communicated out, but I want to have a touch point again as reminders, because the more things are communicated, the more it gets ingrained in our culture here. And so I want to continue to build that for us. The first thing is our roles here at Mercy Kids. This was something that we kind of redesigned, rebuilt, probably this spring, I think, is when we started doing it. I want to say we started in March. And so the general structure of volunteers is now room leads, room helpers, and student helpers. And then there's also subs within that as well. And so any volunteer role across any Mercy Kids position, this is what it looks like to be in that role. We use Planning Center for the accepting and decline requests. We're reviewing activities and lesson plans before we come on Sunday, doing our best to arrive 15 minutes before the service time, and staying at the end until every child has been picked up, caring for kids in appropriate ways, reading and being aware of policies and procedures in our handbook, attending one service and serving one service because we want you to be poured into as you're pouring out. Protect your soul as well. Watch the Mercy Minute video, which will maybe come back at some point. That has kind of morphed into Slack at this point. And attend these Mercy Kids volunteer trainings that are offered. That is what is true for any volunteer in Mercy Kids. And as it gets broken down, then the room helper and the student helper position, which is divvied up by, are you 18 or are you under 18? This position, you're fulfilling roles that are assigned to you by your room lead. And if you don't know who that is, I'm going to put that up pretty soon too, so that way you can identify who these people are for you. The room helper and student helper, they also communicate with this room lead anything that needs to be addressed or communicated to parents about their child. Now, if you're an adult and you're a room helper, I'm not saying you can't talk to the parent, but I don't want to put that expectation on you because this is a volunteer role, and sometimes that is awkward or tricky to step into. And so we want to be able to help step into that when we can. And then this role, we're also helping minimize distracting behaviors by redirecting kids, removing them from the activity or the area until they're able to re-engage, or refer them to your room lead or us as Mercy staff. We want to help out however we can. And then the room lead, how this is separate. This person serves typically as the main communicator with parents during check-in and pickup about any needs or developments about their child. They delegate these roles to the room helpers and the student helpers. In this position, we also ask room leads to sign our leadership covenant and agree to our beliefs within that and attend our all leader meetings as often as they're able to, which happen quarterly. And then the big difference here is most room leads, we're asking them to make a commitment every Sunday for the school year. And so as we're stepping into that, that's just a way that we're trying to help build consistency for the kids, because consistency equals communication and commitment and relationship with the kids. And so that is how that is divvied up. I want to continue to just ingrain that into our culture here at Mercy Kids as we continue to grow. And so here is a slide with all of our room leads up there. So you can see just a quick snapshot. Find your room, 930's on the left, 11's on the right. Find your room, your section. And if you don't know who your room lead is, if you read that name, you're like, oh, I don't know who that is. Come find me, come ask me. I would love to get you connected to that person so you can communicate with them well and look to them for some leadership. I'll leave that up there for a second. I don't know if anybody needed to take a picture or... Okay, I think we're good. The next update, I'm just going to keep moving right along here. We have coming soon a disabilities cheat sheet. And what I mean by this is just simply a really easy resource to have in the drawers of your room. So that way you can identify, oh, we have somebody who's joined us today and they're on the autism spectrum, or they have Down syndrome. And it's just something that you can look at and just kind of have some tips and tidbits of like, this is how I can engage with them and help them feel safe and help them feel comfortable in this room. And oftentimes there could be things that are more distracting for them because of their disability or could pull them away from something. And so you as a volunteer, if you've never helped somebody in that area, then like it can be really hard to figure out how to do that. So this is something that we're developing, we're working on, and I wanted you to know that that is coming. And within this conversation, if you did not know, this is the general layout of the name tags. And right here is where you'll see, oh, I can look and see this person has autism, this person has Down syndrome, this person has ADHD. And this is where you can look to know, to see this is a person that we can work with in that way. When I was looking through this, I went through our planning center list to try to figure out what are the most common disabilities that we have. By far and away, the most common here at Mercy Kids is ADHD and anxiety. And so that's something that we want to be able to step in to this with kids and families and be able to help them as they're going through that. The next most common was autism spectrum disorder, with a handful that are also nonverbal. So again, if that's something that we're able to step into and help those families feel comfortable and safe here, we want to do whatever we can within that. And then there's other things like just general food allergies that you may not be like medically trained to do that, but you just being aware that that is a thing is huge for the families. Within this conversation, I also wanted to just briefly bring up, we have been developing and are continuing to refine a discipline policy with an action plan. And all this means, not specifically for kids with disabilities, but oftentimes if there's behavior issues, we want to help identify what this behavior is, walk alongside the parent to be able to say, hey, we're going to take this step, and this step to help create a safe space for that kid, and also a space that all the kids around them can engage with what's going on. And so that has been developed. It is continuing to be refined. And so if you did not know that's there, go find a handbook, flip to that section, look through it. It is very helpful for those moments that you are dealing with behaviors. Next, I want to notify you as well. We have emergency go bags coming. I have an example right here, just a bright red bag, super easy to see. In all of the rooms, it will be hanging on one of the hooks. All the rooms have hooks, and all this is for is if there's ever a time we need to make an emergency exit for a fire or anything else going on, this is something that we will grab. And the only thing I have in it currently is some emergency blankets. We have winter coming up. It's already getting very cold. If kids don't have coats, we want to be able to keep them warm while we are waiting for all of the chaos of an emergency to subside while we're out there waiting. And so that is something that will be in the rooms very, very soon. So when you see that bright red bag hanging on there, make a mental note. That's my go bag. I need to grab that if we ever have a fire. I did not have this on the screen, but I'm also going to mention background checks. The way it has been done historically at Mercy Road is if you got a background check, if you were 18 or over, it was good forever, and it never needed renewed. We have recently done that differently, and background checks are going to expire after 3 years. So for the few of you in the room who have been serving for more than 3 years, I just wanted you to know that will be coming your way very soon. That will come to your email, your inbox. However it was when you got it 3 years ago, just look for that. And if you know that's coming and you don't see it, just let me know, and I will help you out with that. Next up, the suggestion boxes. You may have seen these show up in your rooms. You may not have, and that's okay. I didn't say anything about it. I just kind of subliminally put them in your cabinets to see if you would see them. This is what these papers look like. Just a general reminder of like, hey, do you have an idea that can help improve your room? Or do you have feedback on a certain piece of the curriculum? Or maybe your room just needs more tissues. These are general things that come up and often happen. And one, this is just a reminder, the Mercy Kids phone is always available. Text it in there. Sometimes I get told things and my mental checklist is not trustworthy. I wish it was. Sometimes it is, but it's not always. Texting it in is always going to be something that is going to help things get checked off. Or if you would like to leave something anonymously, this QR code is also in the rooms, and you can anonymously leave a suggestion on an online suggestion box, and we can see those too. But we won't see that you posted it. So just know those are there in the room for you. If you ever have an idea, if you ever have something that comes up and you're like, oh, I want to tell Josiah or the staff about that, that is always there for you. Next up, oh, there's the background checks. I was ahead of myself. Sorry. There we go, the training calendar rhythms. I have been here about 1.5 years now, and if you've been here with me the whole 1.5 years, you might have started to pick up on this. My goal for us as a team is to have at least 3 trainings a calendar year. And so I just want you to hear me say the general rhythm is a spring training, a fall training, fall training, a spring training, and then in the summer, either a training like we did for the new building, that was a big deal, so we had a training, or a fun event for us to be able to come together and have community, have communion together. On top of that, for all of you sitting right up here, student helper trainings. This is something that is unique to you guys that I would also like to do twice a year, one in the fall, one in the spring. It did not happen this fall, but look towards that in the spring. That, sorry adults, is going to be more fun and have some time specific. I know, we still have fun here, Jason, but for you guys, that's going to have a little added element to it. So be looking forward to that. As we continue to grow our culture, that's going to be kind of the general structure and rhythm that you guys can expect. And now, yes, there it is. I sent this maybe a month or two ago, just some new videos that we put together that are going to be part of the onboarding process. And it's just a general reminder of a lot of things for Mercy Kids. We do a lot, and there is a lot to track and remember and like be on top of, because taking care of kids is a huge responsibility, and there's a lot that goes into it. And so these videos, there's 3 of them, are just really quick, like 2-minute excerpts that are really easy reminders. And so we're going to watch them together right now, but I also want you to know they are always on our YouTube channel. If you're ever like, oh, I just need a refresher, I need a reminder, forget this one little piece, these are always going to be there that are really good for us to go see together. So we're going to watch those now, and then I will come back up. To kick things off, we're going to lump the topics of scheduling and the volunteer handbook together into one for this first video. The reason being that I just want to briefly remind you about the other video you were already sent about Planning Center. And if you need it, it's still on our YouTube channel for you to find. But scheduling with Planning Center is a big enough topic that we kept it as its own video so we could go a little bit deeper in explaining it there. All I'll say about it is this. Planning Center is incredibly important as it gives you so much more control over your own schedule while also keeping the process smooth on our end. So be sure to go watch that video if you haven't yet and make sure you're using Planning Center. Now, the volunteer handbook. As you start serving, this will be your best friend. When we first made this handbook, we wanted it to be more than just a list of policies that would keep us covered legally speaking. And while we do need policies for that reason, we also made this handbook short and readable so that it can be a tool for you to go to whenever you need it. And it covers things like serving expectations, role descriptions, safety procedures, policies, and even more. Everything you might need in one place. And there's a copy of the handbook in every room in case you ever need to reference it or just have a refresh on what it says. So these first few times that you serve, I would highly encourage you to take a look through this and familiarize yourself with its contents. The more you know it and how to reference it, the more prepared you'll be if anything ever comes up. Next, let's talk Sunday rhythms. You know, the things that you actually signed up to do. To start your Sunday, remember that volunteers come at least 15 minutes before service starts. We do this so that there's plenty of time to first pick up your name tag at the front, then arrive at your room, and then get settled in and prepare the lesson materials for that morning. The earlier we're prepared with all these things, the more likely we'll be able to greet kids and families as they're being dropped off. Then, for all the rooms that have a lesson, a typical structure usually goes like this: free time and welcoming, a transition activity, the lesson, worship, small group time with craft and a game, and then pickup. While the structure of the lessons stays fairly consistent, still make sure to read them ahead of time before Sunday so that you're never taken by surprise. While it's not impossible, trying to teach a lesson that you haven't read while also wrangling a bunch of wild kids is not an easy task. Because of this, lessons are always sent out ahead of time so that you can see them before you arrive on Sunday. Make sure to watch for these when you know that you're scheduled. Taking even 5 minutes on a Saturday to look ahead at the lesson could save you a big headache on Sunday morning. When service is over and parents start showing up, there will always be at least one adult volunteer at the door for pickup. If this ever happens to be you, your job is to make sure a child's number on their tag matches the code on the parent tag of whoever is picking them up. Parents must have their parent tag for pickup. This helps ensure that Mercy Kids stays a safe and secure space for all kids. If someone doesn't have their tag, kindly ask them to retrieve it or contact a Mercy Kids staff member if it's been lost.
When all the kids from your room have been picked up, do your best to help clean and tidy the room regardless of what service you're at. Then, collect your belongings, take your name tag to the front, and you are free to get out of here. And finally, last but not least, let's take a look at team communication. On a team the size of Mercy Kids, this can get a little tricky at times. But we value you more than the hours you serve here. And because of that, we want to honor you and our entire team with communication that is timely, genuine, and that fosters real connection. So, the first line of communication you need to know about is the Mercy Kids phone. Save this number to your contacts. From it, you will often receive communication about scheduling and other things. And it's the best way for you to make quick communication to us if you're ever running late, have to make changes to your schedule, or just need to reach out about anything else. There will always be a Mercy Kids staff member on the other end of this number.
Hello?
The second line of communication you need to know about is an app called Slack. If you haven't already, make sure to join our group on this app. There will be a link in the description below this video where you can do that. If you have any problems figuring it out, reach out to our staff. Once you're in the group, you'll have access to 3 channels of communication. The channel General Communications is for communication coming from Mercy Kids to all volunteers. This includes announcements, updates, reminders, or any other general messages we need to get out to the team. The channel Celebrations, to put plainly, is where we celebrate. Anyone on the team can post to this channel and celebrate wins they experience while serving. Then there will also be a third channel specific to whatever room you serve in. For example, say you served in room 1 with the babies. Then anyone else from room 1 can post into that channel and have a discussion together about the things going on in your room. That also keeps you from being overrun by conversations happening in rooms that you have nothing to do with. In any case, communication can seem like a beast sometimes. At the very least, just know that our staff is always open for questions, and whether it's texting the Mercy Kids phone, or sending a message through Slack, or grabbing one of us on a Sunday morning, there is never a bad time for you to reach out.
Okay, I know that's a lot of information, which is why those videos are there. I hope it's helpful for you, because for me, I hate sitting there watching that and listening to my voice. It's terrible. But those videos are always there in case you need to look at it. In just a little bit, we are going to break into groups based on the ages you guys serve with. But before we do that, I want to tell you really quick about this book. Some of you already got your goodie bags. If you haven't gotten them yet, when we break out to the groups, you can come to this table and grab them right over here. This book is something that was sent to me by Pastor Ken, actually. I was on the lookout for a resource like this. And then just out of the blue, Ken sends me an email. Hey, have you heard about this book? And so I bought one for myself to read. Read through the whole thing. It really only takes about an hour to see it from beginning to end. Each chapter is just 2 short pages. It takes about a minute to read. And I highly, highly recommend looking through this. But before we do go to these groups, I want to highlight 2 specific pages because I think this really speaks to the heart of Mercy Kids and just kids ministry in general. And so this is right at the beginning, page 6. And instead of holding a mic and reading the book, I'm just going to read it off the screen for you. And so this is all about what's your why? Why are you serving in kids ministry? Why are you here? So raise your hand if you're busy. If you're busy right now, raise your hand. Maybe even too busy. We thought so. Yet here you are serving in children's ministry. And we're glad to have you. But why are you serving? With everything else on your plate, why add this? Some children's ministry leaders say they jumped in because they saw there was a need. Others say Sunday school was important in their own lives or their lives of their children. Great reasons, but even better is this. You're called. That is a huge piece of my heart for you guys. You're called to this. Leaders who have a calling find it energizing to serve. They lean into praying for kids, learning kids' names, investing their creativity into making lessons pop. When Paul wrote that Jesus called some to be apostles, prophets, pastors, and teachers, he probably wasn't thinking about children's ministry leaders. But it's true. Some people have a God-given knack for connecting with kids, an intuitive ability to frame the Bible's huge truths in age-appropriate ways. They're skilled, but it's more than that. They love seeing light bulbs click on over kids' heads. They're elated when kids fall in love with Jesus. Is that you? If so, you're right where God can work through you in spectacular ways. If it's not you, do this. Ask God to give you a calling. Ask Him to give you a passion for the role you're in and a heart for the kids you serve. Because while kids can't see Jesus, they do see you. How you engage with them, how enthused you are to see them, that signals how Jesus feels about them too. So, what is your why? And last, I want to read this one. And I will preface, I've read this section so many times, and I've cried every time I've read it. And so I read it extra times so I wouldn't cry this time, but I can't make any promises. And then after this, we'll break out. So first, this is about the long game. Start children off in the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it. We are in a long game. The care and truth you're pouring into kids' lives and children's ministry aren't about making them better citizens or nice people. That may happen, but it isn't the point. The point is to cooperate with the Holy Spirit in aiming young hearts directly at Jesus, encouraging kids to know, love, and follow Him. Sorry. We'll know we were successful not when kids can recite 10 Bible verses or cheerfully obey the rules. We'll know that we were successful when one day in heaven we see God nod at our kids and say to them, "Well done, you good and faithful servants." So don't be discouraged if a child seldom pays attention or seems intent on distracting everyone in sight. Keep pouring God's word into that child's life because you won't always see when it takes root. Just trust that it will and that the harvest will be amazing. We are truly in the long game. And so there are so many good nuggets in this book, so many good things that are just going to pour into your soul as you are pouring out to these kids. And so I highly, highly recommend just taking even a moment on a Sunday. You arrive at a Sunday. I'm going to open, I'm going to read one section. The next Sunday I'm here. I'm going to open, I'm going to read the next section. However it works for you, there are so many good things in here for you. And that is going to be part of our breakout time. And so we have about 40 more minutes, and these are the rooms we're going to break out into. So if you serve with the babies, rooms 1 and 2, you are going to take your chair, grab your book and your pen, and head to room 2. If you are serving in room 5 and 6 with the toddlers, you're going to take your chair, take your pen, and go to room 6. 7 and 10, take your chair, take your pen, head to room 10. Rooms 8 and 9, take your chair, take your pen, and head to room 8. And then check in. You're with Carolyn. Does not have to be in the lobby, wherever you guys go. You can stay here. Yeah, you can stay here. You can go.